At 18 is when I first got the idea to not go to a 9 to 5 and make money online. In fact, I convinced myself that I would become a billionaire. I remember it was because I was a big fan of Elon Musk at the time, and I just kept thinking to myself, if he can do it, why can't I? I remember I set some goals and I almost developed this superiority complex. I would walk around university campus and just think, I'm destined for greatness, it's just that none of you know it yet, just you all wait. And then I'd get back to my dorm room, read a productive book for maybe 30 minutes, order a pizza, and play games for the next 6 hours. But I didn't end up making my first dollar online until 4 years after that initial decision. And that's because the main problem I had, and the main problem everyone else has when they want to start a business, is that they don't do things. If you did the work consistently for long enough, you would get there. To make a few $1,000s per month and quit your job, it really doesn't take more thought than that. After your business starts making tens of thousands per month is when it really takes some intelligence to take it to the next level. But right now, you need to just get good at doing things. It's as easy as making something to sell, marketing it on a social media platform for long enough, and doing it consistently until you make money. It's really that simple. So easy, yet so difficult. And the reason it's difficult is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. My name is Brian, and I help you make money online so that you can quit your job. If you want my personal help with this, click the link in the description, because this life is worth it. Complete freedom, no boss. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I want this life for you. So use my anecdote at the start of this video as a word of warning. If you've recently decided in the past few months to start making money online, start taking consistent action to it right now. Don't let 4 years pass you by like that. For a while now, I've been trying to figure out why work comes easy to me now. Why I could just sit down and work for most of the day, then go to the gym without my brain complaining at me all the time. I wanted to tell you how to do it for the longest time, but to be honest with you, I couldn't come up with an answer. The only thing my brain would tell me is that that's just how it is. But I've recently watched a video by Charlie Morgan called Trial by Fire, and I think it's really helped me understand why this happens. Right now, you have your current sense of self, like your identity. When you set goals, those goals don't align with your current self. To achieve those goals, you have to become a new person. For your new self to be created, your old self must stop existing. It must die. But it's not that easy, because every time you try to do something that doesn't align with your current self, you're gonna feel pain and resistance in your head about it. Your old self doesn't like it, and it's fighting to survive. And to change, you need to just keep facing that pain regardless. You need to face that pain for long enough until it becomes your new norm and it's not painful anymore, because now you are your new self. Right now, it's harder for me to not do the work than it is to do the work. When I go to the gym, I just go. There's no longer any objections in my head about it. Maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks, I'll have one session where I don't feel like going, but it's nothing like it used to be. It helps to understand what this pain, this resistance actually is, because it feels like a whole bunch of different things, when in reality, it's just one thing. Next time you catch yourself not working, it's just because your old self has managed to convince you not to. This can happen in a bunch of different ways, and I'm going to share the ways that I personally experience. The first one is instant gratification. In the past, this was a massive one. I would just watch like entertainment YouTube videos whilst I was working. But now my brain convinces me that watching an educational video instead of working is more productive. That's just my old self trying to survive. The next one is actually anxiety. Sometimes I feel nervous before recording a video, or I feel nervous before trying something new and maybe announcing a product on one of my channels. That's just my old self not wanting to do it. The next one is rationalization. Not working because my brain has convinced me not to. For example, my upload days on this channel are typically Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. On those days, I work quite hard. Sometimes I do a little bit of extra work to get the video out on the day. And on my non-upload days, my brain convinces me to work less hard because I've worked harder on the upload days. That's just my old self trying to survive as well. The next one is comfort. Sometimes I don't want to work because I feel comfortable. I get this a lot before my runs, and I get it when I wake up in the morning and I don't want to get out of bed because England, even during the summer, can be quite cold and my brain doesn't like that. And there's a bunch more than that, but those are just a few examples that my old self uses to convince me not to work. And it's crazy because your brain will literally make you think that it's a good idea. If you're not working right now, it's because your old self has convinced you not to. It's actually not any of the things that you might think it is. It's just your old self. To defeat them is to still think those thoughts, wanting to stay in bed, not wanting to go out on a run, saying you're putting off something till tomorrow, and doing it right now. You must fight by doing the things you don't want to do and doing them right now, because over time you will want to do those things because you're going to become the new self that you created with the goals you set. When you work anyway, despite the pain you might feel whilst working, by the way, when you start, the pain is usually temporary anyway. Once you get into the task, it becomes easy. But every time you feel a little bit of pain, resistance, and you work anyway, that's one step closer to defeating your old self. The problem is, your brain is really good at convincing you not to work because it is you. It literally knows you better than anyone else knows you. So every time you're not working because of a reason that might sound quite rational, don't take it at face value. Take it for what it really is, which is your old self trying to survive. Think about it. All you're really doing when you're working is just looking at a screen and pressing buttons. All I'm doing when I'm recording this video is just setting up my camera and saying words. When you try to convince yourself not to do a task, start seeing it for what it really is, not what your brain convinces you that it is. At first, when you first start trying to work for yourself, just sitting down and starting the work can be really difficult. But now, I'm really productive. Most of my day is spent doing something useful, but I'm mostly pain-free. I don't really feel that much resistance during my day, but I do still feel the resistance sometimes, and that's something I wanted to touch on. You basically want to be on the edge of comfort. You always want to feel just a little bit of pain because that's a sign of growth. If work is pain-free and easy all of the time, that's a sign that you've stagnated and that you could be doing better. If you're just on that edge of discomfort, it's a sign that you're growing, but you're also not beating yourself to the ground. And by the way, still give time to rest, but the thing that's worked really good for me is to do it at scheduled times. So if you have a routine, do it up until say 7 p.m. and then just give your brain some downtime. That way, if your brain tries to convince you in the middle of the day at 2 p.m. to watch an episode of SpongeBob, you're not going to do it. And think about it like this. If the next time you have to face discomfort, someone offered you $100 to do it, you'd probably do it, right? But the thing is, that is what's actually happening. You are actually making money by facing the discomfort. It's just a little bit delayed. If you want my personal one-to-one help with making money online so that you can escape your job, then check the link out in the description. See you next video.